Okay, hello. I am doing another live art journal challenge. And this time I do have some of the stuff ready so we don't waste too much time getting into it. So welcome. Thank you for watching. If this is the first time here with me, my name is Carly. I'm a creative arts therapist. I love all forms of creativity and I love just getting messy in my art journal. This was the page we did live last week. And the only thing I added extra was, I think, an extra couple of little brown spots. That was it. I didn't add anything else extra. I haven't journaled on the page yet, unfortunately. But I loved doing this page and I loved being challenged by it. So if you want to watch this page being made, it's in the previous video. I'm not sure. I know I could probably link it somehow. I might be able to do that at the end, but I'm not sure how to do that yet. I'm still learning this whole YouTube stuff. But today I wanted to use up this page. That was a page that just had some paint splattered on it that was left over one day. And over the weekend, so if you were here with me last week, you know that my daughter and we wrote out a whole heap of little poems to challenge ourselves, and this was the one for this page. So it was something from nature, something aging, something on paper, something for pasting. So we used a lot of distressed ink for the aging. Obviously the paper was these little cutouts for collaging. Something for pasting was the glue, and something from nature I painted and scrawled with a feather that I had found. And then over the weekend I came up with another way of challenging myself, because I've always got new ideas, and that was with these multicolored popsicle sticks, and each color stick is a different category, let's say. So all the red popsicle sticks is some form of journaling, more like I called it journaling, but I don't know if that's even the right word, but it's more the overview of the page, the vibe of the page. Orange popsicle sticks are for elements, yellow for color, green for technique, blue for marks, and purple for a medium. And I really like the idea of less is more. So I'm going to try to, and I've already pulled the sticks out just so that I could get the stuff ready. And I pulled the sticks out. I didn't overthink it, pulled out the stick and just went and found the first thing to go with that stick so that it didn't take me forever. I don't have a preconceived idea. I just didn't want to waste your guys' times by pulling this out and then having to go and find the supply. So the red for the journaling vibe is life lessons. And ironically, I actually bought a book to pull apart for the quotes at a recent Lifeline Book Fest, and the book is called, I think it's Lisa Messenger's book, and I think it's called something like Lessons of Life or something. And this, I just opened the book and ripped out the first page, which was lesson 33, create a life that you don't need a holiday from. And I thought that's a really cool life lesson to live by. So we're going to use that quote. The color, it's to use one color but tint it 3 ways. And I found this the other day, and I love turquoise. It's one color that I really struggle to mix myself. I know you can make it yourself, but I can't mix it for some reason. So I want to use this color, and I've got a black, a white, and ultramarine blue to tint this color 3 different ways. So my page, even though I've got these colors in the background, they're going to be covered over. This is more just to prime my page. So that's the color that I'm working with. The elements are book or music pages. And again, I literally just pulled out the first book page I could find, which was this page here. It's got a wild boar on, and this is a music page that's got some bubble wrap stamps already on it, and then the back is, so I might use a bit of both sides. So that, then we've got the technique is scraping. So I just picked up my scraper to give that a go. Marks is to draw botanicals. So I'm going to do that either with a charcoal pencil or might possibly even try, I just bought a glass tip pen. I might try doing it with the glass tip pen and ink at the end, the marks at the end. And the medium is acrylic. So I'm pretty excited about utilizing these, what are they, 6 prompts to create a basic page. I've also been practicing for like 24 hours, drawing some faces. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put a face on here, but I think I would like to try to push myself out of my comfort zone and do a face, but we'll see how we go, shall we? So I'm just going to play around by ripping up some of this and collaging on here first. Let's get rid of this massive blank part at the top. I realised my my page was not lined up. I put this on the back to try to protect my page, and then I realised that I've put it on the wrong part. So I used baking paper to protect my page. So let's cover this page up so we protect it from any overflowing paints or inks or gesso. Let's see if I can get that to go a bit flatter. That'll do. Okay. Actually, no, I might just leave that bit there and go with this. And I just want to add a little bit of collage in the background. You don't have to collage over the whole thing. I just want to add some collaging. I don't know what I did with there it is that. Right, our palette knife to collage with. So I'm using the Liquitex matte gel for my collaging. A nice layer of it on the page here. This is a great also way of using up scraps. If you want to do some collaging, it's a perfect way to use up scraps. If you've got scraps just hanging around on your bench, your table, just stick them down and create a really cool background. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. I see that there is somebody here, but I'm not sure who it is. Welcome. My page everywhere here. And this could technically be classed as the scraping for the prompt as well, because I'm using this palette knife to scrape my matte medium gel on instead of a brush. Sometimes I use a brush and sometimes I use the palette knife. I just want to make sure that I seal all that over. So just adding some background to break up some of that dark color that's there. Now I want to add some lightness to it. But first of all, I need to dry it off. So let me grab my heat gun. Let's dry a little bit of this matte gel. I missed a whole section there in the corner, on the bottom here. It's the only thing when you're using a brush, it's easier to get to all the spots. The paint scraper, I tend to miss a spot. Okay. Get a quick dry. My little clumps out of the way. There we go. So normally when I do a art journal page, I would use a focal picture, but I'm not going to use a focal picture today. I'm going to use the quote and do the drawing of the botanicals instead of a focal picture, which is the challenge. And I love drawing grungy flowers left-handed, like non-dominant hand, with my like a charcoal pencil. It was a technique that I become obsessed with after doing a challenge with Layli Mill, the French mixed media artist. And at first I was like, what do you mean I have to do this left-handed? And I was freaking out. And then once I did it, I was like obsessed. So, yeah. Okay. So that's pretty much touch dry now, which is all I need. Let's soften this up by scraping on some gesso, which is our scraping. So today's going to be mostly scraping, whether it's with paint or with gesso. We're going to scrape. I'm using a large palette knife with this one to add some softness, break through some of that white, that dark color. Okay, so I've got some white on there, and then I'm going to add some of this turquoise. And I need to, what's the color challenge? Tint it 3 ways. So one color tinted 3 ways. So let's get my little palette. Just giving this white gesso a little bit of a touch dry, so it doesn't all mix in. I don't care if some of it mixes in. We'll keep some of it white. Some of those thicker spots will mix in. That's okay. That'll give me that extra shade of. In fact, I could actually just do this directly onto some of these white sections to mix it in. This is brand new. I haven't even opened it yet, but I love this color. This is my absolute favorite color. Someone ever asks me, what's your favorite color? It's this turquoise, teal, like the nice aqua. So I'm just going to put a couple of little dots where this thicker gesso is. And let's get my paint scraper on my palette scraper again, and let's just mix some of this white gesso that hadn't dried in, and go having some fun scraping. Yummy. It looks like a nice big mess, which is my favorite kind of art. So now I'm going to tint this. So I'm going to put some in, I'll put it in 2 spots because I want to tint a light and a dark. Let's see how we go. I might do a little bit of white and a little bit of black and see what happens. I'm a bit over heavy-handed sometimes with black, so I'm going to put that in this. See, that's what happens. Thankfully, I put it in a different spot, didn't I? So let's mix together this with the white. It looks very similar to what's already on the page, actually. Wasn't really thinking about that, was I? All right, let's add some of this blue and we'll tint it with the blue instead. Hopefully we get a different shade of turquoise. Nice, yes. Okay, so there we've got one different shade. And then with a little bit of black, probably even too much, but let's try a little bit of black. I'm not the best at mixing colours, but I keep trying and trying because it comes with practice, doesn't it? There we go. I've definitely got 3 ways. So I've got like the light turquoise, a darker one, and then almost like a blue on that side. So I definitely used my one colour and tinted it 3 ways. So now let's have some fun with this colour and see what we can do. I really want to try to cover up some of that. I don't mind if a little bit of that red comes through. It'll give it a little bit extra contrast, but I would rather not see too much of it. So I'm just going to put some of these colours on. And then, because we're all about scraping today, let's see how we go if I add some scrape marks on here. I need to add some more. Put it directly onto the scraper and see what happens. Oh yeah, that's better. Let's try this one. Nice. Nice. I like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in water so it doesn't dry out. And then I'm going to dry this. Before we go on to the next steps. So I've used acrylic. I've gone one colour 3 ways. We've done some scraping. We've added our book page. So really, I need to add my quote and draw some botanicals. And I want to do some more to this background. I want to give it some lightness as well. So I'm going to add some white into the back of this. And I want this to dry first, so I don't mix it into the white. And all that first bit of gesso that I put on, I've pretty much covered that up. So now I need to do it again because I was, as usual, heavy-handed with my colour. Anybody else gets a bit heavy-handed with their colour and they tend to go overboard. I do every time, every single time. It's a bit damp. The great thing about layering up in mixed media is that it's a process that you don't have to do it all in one hit. You could do this and then walk away and let it dry and come back to it. So if you don't have time to sit down and do it all in one session, you don't have to. Obviously, I am, because I want to do it on video, and so I'm using the heat gun. But sometimes I just do a background and then leave it and then come back to it, do another section, leave it and come back to it. So this is quite a good little process if you just want to do little bits at a time, if your schedule only permits small amounts of time. You don't have to do it all at once. Okay, so that's pretty touch dry. I'm going to, let's put some more gesso on here again. And again, we're going to do a little bit of scraping just to break up some of that intense color. my color intensity is always heavy-handed. The other way we could do this is by using the roller, which is another fun technique, and you can do that with paint. And I'll show you. Draw. So if you've got one of these little brayers and just a little bit of white paint, just put a little bit of white paint on. Well, I say a little bit, but that was a lot, Carly. And you can just roll over and it gives it a bit more of a milky look. I can't remember which artist I learnt this from. I watch so many different artists that I lost track of everywhere that I get my ideas from. So that's what I like about the art community, all the different artists that share their knowledge and their wisdom. Do you have a favourite artist that you like to be inspired by? Certainly, Layli Mill is my top favourite artist. I do enjoy her process and her ideas and her vibe. Just going to add a bit of this turquoise very gently. This time I'm scraping with my finger. So scraping can be done in many different ways, obviously. Right. I feel like it needs something else to break this up. And I'm thinking some sort of stencil, which I don't have right in front of me. So I'm just going to dry this gesso and white paint up. And then I'm literally going to just open my stencil case and grab out the very first one that interests me. Very first one. In fact, some of that stays wet. I might do some reverse stenciling. So open my stencil case, and the very first one was the one from last week. Okay, it's got underneath that. So these all sort of were stuck to each other. So let's see what I can do with these. We've got like a geometric shape. We've got like a, what do you call those? Thatch, and a butterfly, which might be a bit painful because of how flimsy it is, but we'll see. Let's try the geometric shape first. Let's grab. So reverse stenciling, while this is still a bit damp, we could go through and remove some of this white while it's still a bit wet by using a baby wipe, like a wet wipe. You just put your stencil down and then you just rub over your areas. Not normally this hard, it's only because I dried some of that paint. You can see how it's left brings through some of that underneath, and you get that really cool like patterny effect from underneath. So then some of that color comes back through. This one didn't work because I was using a part that had a lot of paint on it. So let's try this side again. There we go, that's a bit better. So there, it's given it a bit more life to the party. Let's grab a sponge because I've got a sponge sitting here beside me. And utilising some of this colour, hopefully my paint's not too runny because otherwise it bleeds. Nope. When we just have a play, when we just don't give ourselves a chance to just play around. Just what I want to do is just play. There we go. Okay. I like that. I like that. I think it's when it comes to like mixed media, you can just play around and add, take away, add, cover it over. Just explore what comes. Okay. I love using my fingers. I love getting messy. Okay, let's dry this off and add some finishing touches because I want it to be super abstract. And really, other than the stencil, I haven't picked up a multitude of different tools other than what the ideas came out of our little challenge box. So I'm going to make sure this is dry. And then, what do you think? I could. And my black charcoal pencil. And it still looks like a giant mess, and that's okay. It's abstract. It's not supposed to be precise, and not everything has to have uniformity. I like the abstractness. It's really given me the opportunities to let go of my perfectionism. I don't get bogged down in the so at the moment, obviously, when I'm trying to learn to draw faces, I get myself bogged down in the, it doesn't look like a face, the precision of what a face should look like. When it comes to this type of abstract, you can let go of all of that and you can just play and have fun and be free. So even though I'm enjoying learning how to do the faces, this is certainly my go-to favorite because there's less intimidation. Okay, so still a bit touched in some areas. I need to sharpen my pencil. Let's draw some botanicals. And I'm going to do it with my non-dominant hand to show you the freedom that we can get with just playing around. And I've still got to put my quote on here somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I will put it on. And it doesn't matter if it goes over the top of some of the flowers. It's fine. So let's see. I think the great thing about grungy petals and flowers is there's no real what do you call it? What it has to look like. It's supposed to be, it's still a bit wet. It's having fun just playing and drawing. I like that. All right, I'm going to grunge up this because this is my Stabilo All. I love this pencil because it's so pigmented. So a little bit goes a long way. And I'm just going to use this matte medium. This one is a bit runnier to grunge up the edges and seal it. You could just do this with water if you wanted to, because the Stabilo pencil is water soluble. This is going to make my little flowers stand out, as well as seal the pencil marks. So if I was to add watercolor or anything over it, then it's not going to disappear on me. I'm not trying to be too precise. I literally want to rough it up. Adding a few little, which I didn't do, only add a few little pencil lines for the petals. Let's put those in. And even on the leaves. So you can see how just activating the pencil gives it that nice depth of pigment as well, so it stands out on my page. Oh, there's the leaf over here. Okay, so there I've drawn some botanicals. Wash that brush. It's such a thin brush, such a small tip. I like to wash it straight away so it doesn't dry out. Look how tiny it is. Okay, so we need to add our quote. I'm trying to think. Actually, I'm wondering whether I should put the quote in the corner of the page. Even though that would cover up. Cover up some of that stenciling, but that's okay. I actually quite like it up there. I've never done a one in the corner like that. Oh, I like it. All right, so let's glue that on. Just This time I'm going to use a paintbrush. Oh, no, that's not glue, that's gesso colour. Where the corners of the page are. It sits in the corner. Okay. It's a whole blank space over here. I'm going to add some more botanicals. Actually, no, I'm going to add some ink instead. Let's add some ink. Let's see, do I have, it's green. Is it green? I don't even know what blue is. It's obviously a colour. Green, purple. Lots of different greens in this mixture. I just got these today. What it looks like. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. I do like that. So let's add some Asemic writing onto our page. This stuff goes a long way, doesn't it, this ink? There's heaps in the pen still. Look at that. I like that. I might actually do some ink splotches. I don't know how well it will splotch with this pen though, that's the only thing. Maybe I should have done it with a different tool. Let's put the lid back on this ink before I make a real big ass mess. Okay. Let's get some. Ah, lucky that. Wet wipe off my bit off. Okay, so get rid of this in the background so that I can see my page a bit better and work out what else it needs. I think it needs some black edging. So again, I love this Stablio pencil because a little goes a long way, and I can get some nice contrast happening. My paintbrush. Let's smudge some of this out. Cool, look at that. Just adding some finishing touches. I'm going to use up some of the supplies that I've got just sitting around beside me. And then some darkness for some contrast. And just because we want to have some fun, let's add some nice milky white into some of these spots. In fact, I could milky white up those plants. Trying to add some into that. That one's already quite white. Let's do this one. Add some extra into these flowers. And again, this is quite pigmented, this chalk. So it will go nice and, well, it should go nice and milky once I hit it with the water. Let's hit it with fresh water and not the water that's got green. See, look at that. bit of tissue paper. Try to hold my finger. Actually, it was probably just as easy. Blend some of that excess off. Problem is I should have done it before I did the hopefully we're going for rustic. Okay. Oh, and I didn't activate those. There's more. There we go. Look at that. I like that. Super fun, super colourful, super abstract. And I managed to utilize all of my prompts. Acrylic paint, I even used extra stuff. One colour tinted 3 ways. Some scraping, some collage with book and music pages, drawing the botanicals, and adding a life lesson, which is create a life you don't need a holiday from. So I hope you enjoyed that process of watching me create a fun art journal page. I know, a lot of people prefer to watch a video that's either got no talking or doesn't take as long. I like doing them live because I like you guys to be able to see the process that I take, that, when something happens, I'm not hiding. If something's gone wrong, how I, maneuver myself through those different challenges. But also, more so, I think the reason I want to do these live videos is more for me actually just to start recording more of my art, because I do plenty of this stuff for myself throughout the day, and I just need to put the camera on so that people can see the process, and those who enjoy seeing it will see it and, hopefully get inspired. So thank you very much if you've watched this. If you are watching the replay, I hope you enjoyed that. And I'll see you probably towards the end of the weekend, or over the weekend I might do another challenge. All right. Have fun. Thanks, everybody. Bye.